What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back. Man, it is good to be back. I am back from sabbaticals. Y'all, some of y'all have seen me on the Wednesday wrap up, whatever. But I was on vacation. I have been chilling, and it's good to be back. What's going on, everybody? Want to salute the BCL fam and the Black Superheroes Forever fam, as always. Man, it's just good to be back. So before I get into all the shenanigans of the day, let me just kind of bring you guys up to speed. He says no to T'Challa talk. Y'all funny. So check this out. So, basically, every now and then I have to take a break, and the break is usually for a couple of reasons. And so I needed some time to kind of rest. I needed some time to kind of like catch up on some things with life. I had to, between the responsibilities that I have a lot going on. My plate is full. And so because my plate is full and I like to do this or whatever, what I'm saying, every now and then I have to step away to catch my breath and to just try to recharge, if that makes any sense. And so a lot of stuff goes on, behind the scenes and in my own personal life with my family and all of that. I have that in my ministry. All of that's important to me. And, I keep my priorities straight. I try to always prioritize what's important. And so this is a hobby for me. This is what I do for fun. This is not a priority for me. I'll be 100% honest and authentic with you guys. I have a lot of other stuff that just takes that priority. But what I do when I show up, I try to show up and I try to give you guys my best. And so for that reason, I have to take time to just chill sometimes. And it allows me to just chill. It allows me to like get back and plug in with my wife and my family and things of that nature and take care of business. And so that's what it's been. When I take vacations, it's never just a relaxation vacation. It's always some work involved. So I just wasn't just chilling. I'll say it like that. But man, I tell you what, it feels good to be back. I want to shout out my squad again. Thanks for you guys for holding it down. For everybody that has been watching, been rocking with us, supporting us, we want to thank you. And if you're here and you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, we want you guys to continue to support the channel. We have super chats that you're able to give. Any dollar amount, we appreciate it. It helps keep the lights on, helps keep us afloat. We have a lot of stuff going on, and so it doesn't, this is not, we don't do this for free. It's always some charges and some stuff involved. So if you guys can reach in your pocket and show a little love, whatever, I most certainly, and also Black Comic Lords, thanks you in advance for that. So again, just to give you guys a heads up, whatever, because I don't want to do this at the end, so I'm asking Derek to kind of work with me. In August, we will be at a con called Atlantic Comic Con. Atlantic Comic Con is a con that has been put together by a couple of brothers we know, and that is Comic Con August the 17th and the 18th. We are going to be there. Black Comic Lords will be in the building. We will be moderating panels. Yours truly will not be doing that, I think. I may be doing some stuff around that way, but I'm going to be incognito. So when you see your boy, holler at your boy, give me a pound. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel about the channel. Let me know how you feel about Black Comic Lords. We want this to be a place that, you know what I'm saying, when we get together, it's going to be kind of a time to just, meet up and hang out or whatever, And look, if you got a sandwich for your brother, I take all dinner invitations. We already got a couple of super chats. So again, guys, August the 17th, 18th, 2024, we were going to be at Atlantic Comic Con. It's going to be an awesome time. There's a lot of artists, a lot of guests. It's going to be some cosplay stuff, anime stuff. It's going to be a little bit of something for everybody. So please come out and support. Shout out to my man Blurredcore Chief CEO Darren Flood for helping with his partner Greg Burnham putting that together. So yeah, so we got a couple of super chats already. Want to salute Tron World. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. Frustrated. Appreciate you, sir. And then I'm frustrated with celebrating with.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. So yeah, let's get into the shenanigans tonight. First segment is low hanging fruit. That's a segment of our show where we get into some of the news. And the first news we got tonight for you is a bleeding cool article. DC Comics, July 2024, full solicits. Batman 150 reveals Bruce Wayne. Now, I don't normally do solicits like this, not an extensive list, but there's a couple of books on here that I want to highlight and just talk about briefly. And as you can see, the lovely Amanda Waller is on the cover of the Absolute Power DC Connect solicit for July. Absolute Power Ground Zero issue 1 is going to, I guess, be released on June the 25th. So it's a lot of stuff coming out, y'all. A lot of dope stuff. So what it says here, it says, well, it may be a while for others to get to this one, but Bleeding Cool 150 has the DC Comics July 2024 solicit and solicitations, including Batman 150, with a certain two-bit crook ready to reveal Batman's identity to the world and the launch of Absolute Power, the End of Penguin. So again, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. So in July, you have Absolute Power issue 1. You have Batman 150 that's coming out. You have Batman and Robin and Howard Summer Breakdown. So if you're not reading Batman and Howard, Batman and Robin and Howard was they gave away a solicit on Free Comic Book Day. Okay. And what they did was they released a graphic novel of this. It was so popular that they re-released it in floppies. And so it's so dope or whatever. I'm glad that they did that because I'm a floppy guy. So I went and picked those up or whatever. And as you see, Derek is scrolling just, to let you know some of the things that are coming out. And this is July solicits. But as he scrolls, you're going to see something I think that's going to really, really tickle your fancy. That Absolute Power, that's going to be that one right there. Pull it right back up, Derek. Go back down. Go back down. Keep going. Keep going. There. Yeah. Keep going. One more. Keep going. One more, I think. I think it's one. There it is. Absolute Power, number 7. Now, the next one, that's the one I want to get to. The one after that one, Derek. This one here, Academy Award-winning writer, your favorite writer and mine, John Ridley, is revealing, Amanda Waller's tragic backstory. That's going to be fire. I know some of y'all don't like John Ridley because that dude would not go away. That dude would not go away. But he's going to be writing a backstory for Amanda Waller. That's going to be dope. I know you guys are going to want to get that. And that if that's the cover, I want that cover right there. That's an amazing cover. So that's going to be coming out pretty soon. So name of that book is, let me go down real quick, Derek. Absolute Power Origins, issue number 1. That book will be out July 24th, 2024. So you guys got that to look forward to as well. So yeah. So get your coins ready. Get your coins ready. Style So Serious asked the question, did you read Green Lantern War Journal this week? I did. We're going to talk about it, Style So Serious. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to all the reads and stuff that I read while I was out and this past week stuff too. So I got thoughts for sure. John Ridley, Herschel is hilarious. John Henley had the greatest Black Panther run since Hutton. You know what? Stop trolling stop trolling the Black Panther fans. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. So y'all, he says Paul is going to fight you. Yeah. Paul is somewhere. We don't know where he is, but yeah. He can't be bought he can't. He bought the entire run. That's funny. Okay. So yeah, you guys are hilarious. So the next article, you guys are so funny, man, is a Screen Rant article. Iron Man's next civil war against the MCU hero, more personal than Captain America. The worst of Marvel's Civil War is nothing compared to what Iron Man is about to endure at the hands of his best friend. In both the original comics iteration and MCU adaptation, Civil War pitted Iron Man against Captain America in a battle of different philosophies and enormous ego. And while the feud between the two Avengers stalwart was heated, it wasn't as heated as it would have been had they been closest friends. James Rhodes had been best friends with Tony Stark, dating back to their storylines together in the 70s and 80s. The two had trusted each other in any other situation, no matter the circumstances, but that same trust is about to cause some physical friction between the Iron Men. As a series, Invincible Iron Man has been about the title character using his best resources to combat Phelan, who is Tony's most hated nemesis, has taken everything from him, including his company and tech. Among Tony Stark's best resources, however, is his most loyal soldier, Rhodey, and who allows Tony to use him as a diversion in Invincible Iron Man #7. And while Rhodey impersonates Tony in an Iron Man suit attacking Phelan's Sentinel factory, Tony is stealing from the background. While Tony exits virtually unscathed, Rhodey is captured and arrested. And Rhodey has been in prison ever since, and Iron Man has struggled to free him. But the best he's been able to do is offer Rhodey protection in prison from villains. But that's not exactly freedom. The solution for Iron Man 19 suggests that Rhodey has had enough after enduring months in one of America's most brutal prisons to protect Tony Stark. It's understandable to see where War Machine gripes lie, especially as his freedom has been put on the back burner so Tony can prioritize his vendetta against Phelan and Orcus. So, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Your man's in them, Rhodey Rhodes, War Machine, and Iron Man about to get it in Iron Man #19. That book comes out June 19th. Juneteenth, ladies and gentlemen. So you won't be able to miss that. So yeah, that's coming up. So y'all get ready for that. That should be pretty interesting. I know we have some War Machine fans in the building, and Rhodes has had enough. He's been backing up Tony, and he's been locked up for us, and now they finna go at it. So y'all get ready for that. Again, that book comes out June 19th. Our next article is a Games Radar article, which is funny to me. Marvel Comics writer Cody Ziggler says that Kevin Feige personally requested the death and resurrection of Miss Marvel. This is funny to me. I'm going to tell you why. So the death of Miss Marvel was one of the most attention-grabbing stories in comics last year, with the beloved character being sensationally killed off in Spider-Man, that book. So anyway, she was brought back to life, we know, right? And in being brought back to life, they made her, she's no longer an Inhuman, or she's more than an Inhuman now. She's a mutant, okay? So this iteration of her now that we see in comics today is her as a mutant. So, but what's interesting is that Deadpool writer Cody Ziggler suggested that one of the reasons for his storyline was a direct request from the movie side of Marvel. Specifically, he implied that the death and resurrection of Miss Marvel was requested by MCU chief Kevin Feige. In the interview, he says, "It was funny watching the whole Kamala stuff going down because he and Zeb Wells had told me months ahead before the plan. Feige was like, hey, I don't do this very often, but can you please do this to make things in line with Marvel because we have some stuff we want to do with Kamala." You can find the quote around the 17-minute mark, but the whole interview is worth listening. So then, basically, Cody Ziggler had an interview with a podcast, I guess, or a particular site, and he makes these claims, right? And us as MCU fans, we talk about this all the time about how they like to do stuff, to reflect what's going on in comics. They want to reflect that in what's going to happen in the MCU. Now, all of this has been, of course, as allegedly. We have talked about that, particularly when it comes to a certain character out of Wakanda, right? But we didn't necessarily, quote unquote, have receipts or proof of that. Cody Ziggler, God bless him, kind of gave up the goods on this. saying that basically they wanted the comic book to reflect what they were going to be doing with her in the MCU. And so a lot of Black Panther fans probably feel vindicated because it was always kind of alleged that's what they were doing. They were doing something, they were doing things that were kind of similar, but to straight out say that they were doing things to actually mirror what was going on in the MCU and comic books, we really couldn't say that exactly. Here's Cody Ziggler saying this is what they did. Now, to be fair, here's what Cody Ziggler says. People did not know that she was, quote unquote, going to die. It's comic books. But of course, she comes back. But you don't realize that when she dies and comes back, the Miss Marvel will be writing her. He noted that it's the first time that an MCU actor is going to be actively participating in creating the lore of the character in comic books proper. However, since the release of this interview, a spokesman from the interview said, or that I guess to refute what she was saying, or what Cody Ziggler was saying, has denied that this has not been the case. They also described the decision to turn Kamala into a mutant as an explicitly editorial decision, one in well-making before the events of Amazing Spider-Man 26. Whatever the case, Miss Marvel is now firmly established as a mutant, and her adventures continue in Miss Marvel Mutant Menace, a limited series, which was recently published in second issue. So, all of that nonsense with the MCU and all of the things that they do, right? We don't mess with the comic books. We don't mess with the comic books. The MCU and the comic books are different. Well, Cody Ziggler says, that's not the case. They kind of did it this time. So again, that's kind of how it goes. And frustrated, you're right. But knew this was going to happen because the show came out before the comic. Yeah. So, he makes that, Ziggler makes that, allegation, and they come out on Marvel side and say, that's not true. So I guess they don't want nobody to really know their formula or what they're doing when it's been kind of Captain Obvious. But yeah. Do with that what you will. Shout out to all the Black Panther fans and their concern about T'Challa. 1 in 100 podcast shows basically they wanted her to be a mutant, not an Inhuman. Well, here's the thing about the situation with the Inhumans. There's nothing going on with the Inhumans at all. It's not even, what Inhuman is actually in comic books that anybody cares about today. People care about mutants. Not to say they don't care about Inhumans, but they care more about mutants. So I think that part of that was probably it may have been an editorial decision, but you and I know it's all about dollars and cents. Yep. Herschel says, I would donate $1,000 to a BCL charity if y'all can go over and get out saying Black Panther with the child. Well, I don't think you got $1,000 to do that. And two, we don't have a charity, but I can create one for you. You just cash app your boy $1,000. That'll be enough charity for you. Frustrated says Paul called it 2 years ago about them merging the comics into movies and shows. Yeah, he did. He did. Shout out to him. I don't know where he is tonight, but yeah, he did. He did. And but it's kind of one of those, one of the things about power, Frustrated, is true power is being able to do something and then daring somebody to do something about it. That's the source of true power. And the truth is, just because we know the truth and we speak truth to power, don't necessarily mean that we have the power to change what the power is doing, if that makes any sense. I mean, that's the thing about the MCU. They have been doing, they have had a formula in place for a long time. And has it paid off for them in the past? Yes. But of late, it has not been good for the MCU. The MCU, you know, outside of this Daredevil, not Daredevil, this Deadpool Wolverine movie that's coming out, I don't really have a lot of hopes for the MCU. I don't. So, you know, y'all hang in there with us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see what's what. Styles so serious. So Moon Girl is up next for a mutant graduation. I don't know. I know that there are no Moon Girl books on the shelf right now. They had a crossover. She did a book with the X-Men. She did a book with Moon Knight. She did a book with the Avengers. I think she did one with Miles Morales. It was like 4 books, like one shots almost. And we hadn't seen Kamala. I mean, not Kamala. We hadn't seen Lafayette. So we'll see. Moon Girl would be interesting if she was a mutant, but it would hurt her brand. Black mutants don't do as well outside of Bishop and Storm. It's a possibility. I think Moon Girl is a very popular character, though. So to make her a mutant, I think would not be wise. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I did forget that she was an Inhuman, but no one outside of Moon Girl really cares. And I mean, if the animation continues to be good, like they're doing for the Moon Girl show, Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur show, there will be no need for them to even do a comic book, to be honest. They can just keep doing animation, you know. So we'll see. This being live a few hours after I stopped by my LCS is poetic. Thanks for enhancing the weekend. Oh, that's what's up. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Kay. So look, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna ask Derek to put up a commercial or two, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about comic books. You know, just books that we've read and that kind of thing. I'll share with you guys something, a few comic books that I've read. You know, I got a handful, but I put up like 3 or 4 for you guys to look at and check out and talk about. But after that, we're gonna just talk about books that I've read, and then we'll get into chat talk. So, Derek, would you please bring us to a commercial? And again, before we go to commercial, I do want to remind you guys, and Derek, I want you to put this in the chat. Stranger Comics is getting ready to end their campaign, their campaign, their Kickstarter campaign, and so that ends tonight at midnight. And so, if you guys want some cool comic books, some cool stories like involving Dura and involving Niobe, or the Tales of Asunder, you guys do yourself a favor and go support the Kickstarter. So, you know, again, that's I think it's going to run till midnight tonight, because April 22nd at midnight the campaign is over. And for those of you that have supported the Kickstarter, I pray that you got money in the bank, because it's going to hit your card. So shout out to Sebastian and all the good folks over at Stranger Comics. It's going to be dope. So with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Danny J. Quick here with Ace Blade Comics. We got 6 issues of Ace Blade, 1 through 6. The 7th one is now live on Kickstarter. We could definitely use your support. We also have titles like Scarlet Ranger 1 and 2, created by Rhodes. We got Harlem's Renaissance and the Ballad of the Black Rose. And we got Lumberjacks 1, 2, and 3, which is about an Ethiopian prince who is displaced, and he has this necklace that gives him superpowers that he inherited from his grandfather. But he has to go through several trials to unlock the powers and abilities. So definitely check us out. You can find us at Fourth Wall Productions, fourthwallpros.com, and like I said, on Kickstarter right now. So I appreciate y'all, Black Comic Boys. Thank you for the support, and thanks for doing the right thing for the community.
Here's our black real estate and comics. What do I mean? Let's check out Black Panther. He is gone from the MCU for reasons. And what is happening in the comics? We can complain all day about how our champion is being treated, but we don't own that character. Look at Milestone character, created by one of the greats, Dwayne McDuffie, my guy. But we don't really own or control any of his characters. DC does. So I'll ask again, where is our black real estate in comics? Meet Delta Dogs from Millennial Comics, created and controlled by us, where story sits in the forefront. Delta Dogs is more than just black characters being black for the sake of being black. This story is about 7 cousins that gets into an encounter with a mysterious glowing stranger that changes their lives forever. And with their unique abilities, this family may be the one thing that can save their hood that's being ruled over by a vicious super gang. With an ex-criminal as their leader and other superheroes that looks the other way when it comes to their environment, this will be an impossible mission to pull off. Grab these books in our hardcover Ultimate Edition bundle at millennialcomic.com so we can really have some skin in the game when it comes to the comic book industry. Keep doing y'all thing, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
We back. Yeah, we back in the building one more again. So we're going to talk about comics. So I was out for almost about 3 weeks about 3 weeks or so. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. I can't recall. But while I was out, there was a lot of stuff that came out, and so I want to just kind of go over some books that I read and just books that came out this past week. And so one of the first books I want to show you guys is a book called Beyond Real. Now, Beyond Real is up to issue number 3. I just want you guys to check out that art. Check out that splash page right there. Beyond Real is a vault book written by, let's see, I don't even get the guy's name right. Zach Kaplan. And artist is by Fabiana Mascalo, Vincento Riccardi, and Dennis Menhiri. But that particular book there, the splash, I love that splash page. That is pretty amazing. And so to give you a little history behind this book or whatever, Vault actually put out issue number 1 for free. They gave the retailers a lot of copies of issue number 1. They wanted to see if they could get some readers, people to try it. My LCS guy gave me a copy of the book. I was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. Stories about basically a kind of a virtual reality kind of situation, journey, if you will. It's the story is decent, but you can see the art is to strengthen the story. Now, the art in just about every book is different because they're going to like different places. And so in this particular issue, the art is real trippy, like that splash page. And, again, this is like a virtual, it's like being trapped in a computer, if you, a computer matrix or something. But but they put that book out, issue number 1. And like I say, it's up to issue number 3. And the read it's been solid. But the art is to strengthen this book. So y'all go check that out. I think Beyond Real is pretty cool. And if you have an LCS, they probably should have given you that book if you are a good customer. Most time y'all don't get books because y'all not good customers. If you're supporting your LCSs and you have good LCS, the LCS is going to look out for you. And those LCS is going to give you, all the freebies when they come in. I know some shops though that was selling that issue number 1, and I know they got that book for free. That's kind of shiesty, but that's part of this game here. James Thomas, what up, JT? He says Kaplan's great writer. Check out Eclipse and Porter to Earth by him. Yep, Porter to Earth definitely. I definitely enjoy Porter to Earth. So yeah. Dosverse says psychedelic vibe. Yeah, man, it's kind of cool. I dig it. I definitely dig it. And what's weird is that they are in this particular issue. They're trying to connect with things, and these things are they're because they're actually these 3 ladies. They're on a journey, and they're trying to find a way to get to the chosen, whatever it is. I can't get the words out, but basically, they're in this particular realm where the animals and the I guess wildlife and the plant life talk, and so it's a pretty interesting deal. And it's kind of not a shocking ending, but there's some things that happen in the book. But like, man, y'all really did that, you know what I'm saying? Because as if you love nature, things of that nature, that's why you probably would say that. But it really is I would say, is a stab at humanity and how we as human beings when we don't understand something, our first attempt or our first intention is to destroy it. So yeah. So JT says, my shots are both great. Greed, you support them and they look out for you. Welcome back, Rich. Thanks, JT. Appreciate that. So yeah, so y'all go check that out. The next book I want to talk about is shout out to my man Amir, 1 in 100 podcast. This is Amir's guy. Miles Morales is, I think Amir is probably the biggest Miles Morales fan that I know. And in the Miles Morales issue number 19, because that, look, those of you that know me know that I've given Miles Morales the business in the past, but I've warmed up to him. And I really owe that to the movies, Into the Spider-Verse particularly, because I did not have a thought to put Miles Morales on my pull list. Now Miles is on my pull list. And so I like Cody Ziggler's writing in this particular book. And what's cool about this book is that there's a part where Miles is fighting Rabble. And then he gets very, what's the word I could use? He's almost like he's fired everything at her that he can. And so now he's at a point, or he's in a mode of his attack where everything is kind of primal almost. And that black and white that you see on those pages, that's kind of like him being able to see. He can't even really make out images. He's just really fighting for his life, that kind of deal. It's pretty dope. I like how they did this here, because again, I've never seen Miles Morales in black and white pages. So I don't know. I don't have Miles Morales, comics like that. I got a few, because my man's got over 300, but I don't only got a few. So, but I've never seen black and white pages for his Miles Morales books. But this was pretty dope. So if you are interested in, Miles Morales, you might want to pick this up. Rabble is a dope character as a villain. But man, they did my man, what's his name? Glurp or whatever it is. He's a clone of Miles, but he's hurt. And so it's, Miles is kind of, off the hinges, over what happened to him. And so it's a dope story, dope read. So y'all check out that too. Miles Morales 19 was no joke. That's pretty good. Yeah. He says, might be seeing a lot of stuff I got from today's mentions. That was what's good? Super Slabs, what up, Mike Carson in the building? Good to see you, sir. So yeah, I enjoyed Miles Morales issue number 19. So the next book I want to talk about is Spectacular Spiderman. So in Miles Morales news, the continuous news, Miles Morales and Peter Parker are in a comic book together. And that's this book here, The Spectacular Spider-Man. And so basically, the premise is that, these two Spider-Men get together, they hang out, you know what I'm saying, and just chop it up. And, and when things happen, you know what I'm saying, they suit up and they clock in, they tap in. And so this is a fun book. This is a pretty fun book to read. I know a lot of people are like, man, I just don't need another book to read, but you might want to go on and pick this up. If you are a fan of comic books and just geeky comic book, funny, lighthearted stuff, this will be your jam right here. This is a pretty good book. So it's only 2 issues in. It's like I say, it's pretty fun. It's got some dope stuff in it. And what's weird about it is I don't know the whole story arc behind it, because they're putting things in this book, like there's a page in it where Daredevil is fighting a character in the book, and he knocks Daredevil out cold. And we don't see Daredevil no more. Why it's in the book, I have no idea. But they're just dropping like I would say, vantage points from different viewpoints, I guess you could say. And I guess they're like little breadcrumbs for the story that they want to ultimately tell. So yeah. Now, he says, Herschel says, I wonder why they're pushing Spider-Boy so hard. I think part of that is, Herschel, to be honest, I think that Miles Morales has taken a little shine off of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. The Spider-Man fans are going to Spider-Man. And what I mean by that is they're going to buy their books or whatever, right? But Miles Morales is kind of like taking some of that fan base. Not only that, not necessarily, I won't say let me rephrase that. He's not necessarily taking the fan base, but there's been a lane created for Miles Morales, and Miles Morales is real popular. So they bring in Spider-Boy to kind of like not necessarily dim the light on Spider-Man, but it's just kind of like, hey, they like this. Let's give them another Spider-Man. Let's give them a young white Spider-Man. Y'all can do with that what y'all will, but that's kind of how I see it. So, you know what I'm saying? Because Peter Parker is an old dude. He's not the young guy no more. Okay. So you know, I have not picked up a Spider-Boy book. I didn't buy the first appearance. I'm not interested like that. I'm not invested like that. But like every other kid growing up, I read Spider-Man. So, you know, it's not you should give him a fast Spider-Man. That's funny. You know what? Stop. Stop. So Frustrated says Spider-Boy is the comic version when they add your kid to the show that has been forever to make the show more interesting. Yeah. So the writer of that book is the creator of the Gargoyles animated series. Okay. Type 2 diabetes spider really hurts. He says, I thought the Spectacular Spiderman got distracted by reprints of Ultimate Spider-Man and the Ultimate Black Panther. Got the last they had. Yeah. It's a good book. I'm gonna just tell you like that. It's a good book, good story. It's good interaction between them. It's a fun book. You know what I'm saying? Now, are you looking for something deep and profound? This ain't your book. However, you know what I'm saying? If you want something fun, dope to read, yeah. JT says Ultimate Spider-Man is fire. Yeah, shout out to the Ultimate Universe. They getting all the attention right now, all the love. How long will it last? I don't know. I do not know. You know, so that's a sore subject for some people. Speaking of which, now my favorite book I read this week is this book here, Dudley Dotson and the Forever Time Machine. This is a dope book. This is a dark horse book written by Scott Snyder, drawn by Jamal Igle. This was a pretty fun book. My favorite book that I read this week. I saw nobody post this book. I saw nobody talk about this book. But this is a pretty fun book. So I hope some of y'all went out and bought this book because it's a pretty dope book. Frustrated said, oh yes, this was great. I think hashtag Paul's book, lots of pages. It was. It had a lot of pages in it. I guess it was like a double issue almost because it had like 2 chapters in it. So yeah, man, I enjoy. He says looks like a Reading Rainbow book. Stop. It's a good book. That's a variant cover there, Herschel. That's a variant cover. That's why that cover looks like that. That's the cover that I bought. I didn't buy the book A. But basically, it's about a guy named Dudley Dotson who is an inventor. And so he encounters a device that one of his teachers gives him, and it allows him to connect with a whole universe of inventors. it's pretty dope. It's a pretty dope, it's a nerdy, geeky type book. You guys, I think you guys would love it. Uh, yeah. So it's a dope book. It's a dope book. It's got a nice little dialogue there with him and his father, and he's a kid who is trying to be a great inventor, but he has blunders happen to him. And so his father is sick, and so he's torn between trying to be this great inventor and then being thrusted into this situation where he has to save the world and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's a fun book though. It's a fun read. So y'all check that out. Robert Monroe says, yeah, I picked up one from the Dudley Dotson variants today for my LCS. Yeah. It's a dope book, man. Dark Horse title. Dark Horse been kind of quiet lately. They got some stuff out there, but not a whole lot of stuff. He says, I have a weakness for comics and engineers, and I blame growing up on Iron Man. Gonna keep eyes on this. Yeah, you definitely would. Listen, this is a nerd book here. This is a geeky, I'm building things, that kind of thing. Ingenuity, using your brain, that kind of deal. So yeah, it's a fun book. So shout out to Scott Snyder and Jamal Iger for the dope for the dope art on that book too. So yeah, man. So those are just some of the books that I wanted to highlight. I've read others. I'll share with you. Styles and Series brought up Green Lantern War Journal. This is the issue here. This is the Raza edition, first issue number 8. Sorry about the glare on that, but yeah, this was pretty good. I've been enjoying this particular run of John Stewart. It's been great. And it was good to see Kyle Rayner show up. Some people think Kyle Rayner is an acquired taste, and some people think that and if I'm not mistaken, I think Herschel thinks that Kyle Rayner is probably the best Green Lantern. But either way, what I'm saying, it was good to see him in the book. So yeah. So I read that this week. Giant Size Hulk was a good read. Speaking of Philip Kennedy Johnson, because he's writing the Green Lantern War Journal book. So yeah, says I got Green Lantern 7 and 8 gonna finish them tonight. Yeah, you should enjoy them. They're definitely a dope book. So Giant Size Hulk has a continuation of the story that's taking place. Excuse me, and then there's a backstory, an older El Hulk story in it as well. I did not read the second story. The story is called He's Back, and this is Peter David. So it's a reprint from back in the day. And so as you can see the kind of panels there. So it's an older story, but yeah, I enjoy this. I'm enjoying the Hulk run because it's a horror story. And so this kind of continues it. So yeah, Giant Size Hulk. And of course, the Spawn books. There are a gang of Spawn books out now. Of course, there's Spawn 352. That's continues to be a good book. Sam and Twitch. I'm an old school Spawn fan. So Sam and Twitch is when they brought this back, I was kind of happy about it. And yeah, it's good one. That's a good book. Gunslinger Spawn is always fun. Love Javier. So here's a variant cover to that particular book too. This is so ill. I love yellow as a cover. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to get the glare off of it. Yeah. I love Gunslinger Spawn. It's a dope title. Robin says, I didn't get the Giant Size X-Men, didn't want to pay extra for a book that's 50% reprint. Yeah, they put it in, and funny thing is too, when I saw it, they put it in my box, and then God knows I'm reading Hulk, so it was kind of like, okay, let me just go in, because they don't really do annual books no more. I guess they call them Giant Size on the Marvel side. Now, DC does the annual books, but yeah. So the 1 in 100 podcast says Miles was dope, Cobra was dope, Green Lantern War Journal was dope. Avengers Twilight 5 was woke. Just kidding. And I just read the Sandman issue 1. I like it. Yeah. Speaking of that, me and Amir are reading a book called The Hand and Six Fingers. They're like two books that are kind of like intertwined together. Crazy story about a serial killer. And I am enjoying that book for real. So these mighty M&Ms growing my interest in Hulk. Interesting how he is misunderstood most times. At least during my reads, he isn't the aggressor he's made to be. He want to chill. Yeah, you do. You just want to chill. You don't want to bother nobody. You know. I think that when you know you got all that power and strength, you be like you don't be trying to Hulk out. Yeah. So reading that, Cobra Commander, love this one. This is issue number 3. No, I'm sorry, issue 4. Issue 4. Everything is kind of coming together with that. We should see Destro in the next book. She said, what do you think about The Misery by Todd McFarlane coming out soon? Not sure what to think about it, only because there's a gang of stuff that Todd McFarlane is putting out. And so Todd McFarlane put out, he's got the Sam and Twitch book. He's got the Rat City book that's out as well. This Misery book that's getting ready to come out. But he's got like 6, 7 more titles that are supposed to come out. Different books, you know, some of them, I don't know if they're going to be one-shots or if they're going to be continuous series, but he's got a lot of stuff that's on deck. So I'm not sure. I'm probably going to copy it because I like the Todd father. So I'll look out for it, you know. So yeah, reading that, and of course, What If Aliens? I'm an aliens guy. So this is issue number 2. And yeah, this is crazy, man. This is a crazy book. Energon got heat, I heard. Only Transformers were planning to get Void Rivals too. They doing something. I don't know what's going to come to the big screen, but they doing something big with Void Rivals and the Energon universe. They're doing something huge, and they can't just do that books. There's got to be some stuff coming out that's going to just like, you know, as far as a movie that's going to like bring all of this stuff together. They're doing too much for them to not have plans to do something, either animation or do something on the big screen. So yeah. Jay waiting on what Spawn 77 is going to be about. That's funny. He says, OG, did you see what they did? What they did was Luke Cage, issue 5, and Twilight. Man, our boy's down bad. Yeah. He an old man. he an old man. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, his Rat City that just came out a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Surprised me, it's a good title as well. Yeah. Rat City's got that. Then of course, the Mace Windu book, I enjoyed that as well. This is issue 3. So 2 black characters in it. So yeah. That's been dope. Suicide Squad Dream Team. I think we talked about this last week. So enjoying that. This is the 2nd issue here. Amanda Waller's, she's doing her thing. Outsiders. This is issue 6. So I think Outsiders is going to go 12 issues. So I'm enjoying this for real. This has been a fun read. I like my comic books to be fun. And of course, Ultimate Black Panther number 3 was all the rage when it came out last week. So yeah. But what I do want to tell you guys what I read. I got a chance to read some older stuff. Primordial. This particular book here, it's like 6 issues. Jeff Lemire. You know, he's a weird dude. Stuff be all over the place half the time. But this particular book was a fun book. Like I said, 6 issues. And it's about basically the space program, the U.S. space program, sending, what is it? They sent the dog into space, The Russians sent some monkeys into space, and somehow or another, the dog and the monkeys got together. They got lost, but the story is about them finding their way back home. And there's a black guy in the book who is trying to help one of the ladies that's in the book to bring her son back. So yeah. Let's see what's going on with this. I'm looking at something, guys, so give me a second. Okay. All right. So anyway, so yeah, let's see. That book was especially that revealed that was so dope. Which book was that you talking about? Frustrated. Ultimate 3 BP. Yeah, the Ultimate BP has been amazing. I've enjoyed it immensely. So I've enjoyed it immensely. I gotta say that Brian Hill, he writing his tail off, man. I'm enjoying that book thoroughly. Yeah. So with that said, guys, I want to go ahead and transition to chat talk. No commercial break. We're just going to get right into it. What you guys want to talk about? What's on your mind? A lot of craziness been going. Before we get to chat talk, well, while I'm in chat talk, when I go away, stuff happens for whatever reason. Rappers start dissing each other, and then they apologize for dissing each other. R&B artists dissing rappers, and I'm just wondering. What is going on with music today. Can y'all just make some dope music? Just make some dope music. But people got beef, and there's some stuff I want to get into, but I'm not going to talk about it. Suffice to say that these streets are gutter, and it's a sad state of affairs. That's all I'm gonna say. Troy Graham asks a question. He says, "When is Epiphany Engine coming?" Well, from what we were told, that the Kickstarter is supposed to start June 19th. That's all I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. They got some stuff going on that they need to fix. I'm gonna just say it like that. And those guys know what we're talking about. So yeah, they got work to do. But supposedly June 19th. Juneteenth is when they're supposed to start the Kickstarter. One on 100 podcast. I just want to highlight the fact that OG, you just put up a bunch of great books, and people still say American comics are doing bad. How? Yeah, that's a mystery in itself. Herschel says, "Wonder what's the hottest black indie book out now." I'm gonna say Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia and everybody else. I'm gonna just put it out there like that. But it's a lot of dope IP out here, y'all. He says rappers get together and plan fake beef, been doing it since the 90s. They start to stay relevant. They do it to stay relevant. But why would they do it and then be like, my bad. I'm sorry I dissed you. I'm gonna take it off my platform. Why they do that? Rap is a contact sport. You can't throw slugs and be like, my bad. You can't do that. He said, I'll say it. Where's Kendrick? Kendrick chilling. He probably getting ready to lock and load on all of them again. So yeah, Hill is waiting for the blood hunt. So thanks, sir. What flavor of Kool-Aid is that in your cup? Oh, this is that purple stuff. It's that purple stuff, sir. We don't say grape. We just say the color. That's how ghetto I am. We don't have cherry. That's red. We don't say orange. We say orange. So yeah, it's that grape. It's that purple stuff. Troy actually said, "Will Blue Marvel get his own series or Disney series?" No and no. No and no, and we all know the obvious reasons. Blue Marvel is an op character, overpowered character that is too intelligent and that is too powerful, and they just don't want to pull focus. I think that's one of the things that um, is kind of sad at Marvel is they don't think that they can do two things. You know, they don't think they can have a T'Challa and an Adam Brashear for whatever reason. It boggles my mind, but that's kind of how that thing goes. You know, I would love Blue Marvel to have some shine, and I would love to have him see him in his own series. I don't let me be honest. I don't care if I ever see Blue Marvel on big screen. I would like to, but I really don't care. What I care about him is him having his own book at Marvel. That's what I want to see personally. So Ursula says, you know, Blue Marvel is cooked. Yeah, Blue Marvel is too black. That's the issue. It is. Yeah. Killer is my favorite for real. Got back into black horror. Yeah. Scott Caesar says the media hyped the Kendrick verse way too much. Him and Cole could never have beef. It was a friendly challenge, and Cole sabotaged himself as he had been known to do, scratching his head. Well, you know, I mean, you know, I just think it's kind of funny because hip hop is in a weird space now. It's not, you know, people talk about it being still being the number one genre, and in some space that it is, but it has taken a dip in the last couple of years or so. I'm not into it like that, you know what I'm saying? But when I've just been seeing these bloggers and people talk about it, and I'm just kind of scratching my head because it's like, okay, J. Cole goes out of his way to drop something, and then he says, well, you know what, I was tripping or whatever. And that's what's problem. That's the problem with emo rappers. When you in your feelings about stuff and you do stuff and you say stuff that you don't really mean. And here's the thing about Kendrick. Kendrick Lamar, in my humble opinion, Kendrick Lamar is not top 5 of all time. He's a good rapper. He's dope. He's dope for this generation. But he's not a top 5 all-time rapper. Is he dope? Yes, he is absolutely dope. But I don't see him as a top 5. In fact, I don't see Cole. I don't see Drake. I don't see none of these guys as top 5. You don't have no top 5 rappers today. Now, some people will debate that with me or whatever, and perhaps it's because I'm a cat that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and I've seen real MCs, and there's a few out here still doing their thing. But I'm not going to make the mistake and say that these guys are just John Blaze like that. You know, I grew up with Kane, Rakim, KRS, Chuck D, Run DMC, Super Rhymes, Grandmaster Melly Mel, real spitters, okay? You know, this stuff today, they can't even call it, you know, they really can't, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but it's something to say that I can't take these guys serious at all. Hershey said, Lil Boosie top 5. You know what? Lil Boosie is top 5 for some people. He is. For some people think that. I think people have the nerve to say that certain rappers in this generation were better than Pop. But I'm like, y'all go ahead. Y'all, it's opinion. It's an opinion. So y'all do your thing. So I'll embrace being an old head, but we'll give props to underground rappers. The only problem is they don't have the industry push with how weird nowadays is it fine with that. I don't know. I just, you know, I'll say it like this. No, I'm not going to say that. I don't want to throw no shade like that. Let's get back to comic books. Y'all not going to give me no trouble tonight. All soulless music, don't buy the hype. That's the thing, Styles of series. I don't even think, I'm glad we don't have to buy it. Because if, look, I could say something, but I ain't going to do that. Anyway, Herschel says Lil Wayne top 10. He's still out. I'm trying to figure out a world where Lil Wayne is in my top 10. He may be top 10 for this generation. I'll say that. He may be top 10. He may even be top 5 for this generation. But is he top 10? I'm trying to figure out what would I. No. Jeff in the building says OG rappers got in with no expectation. Now they get in to make money. Yeah, guys are not hungry. That's for sure. I think that's one of the biggest problems. Is guys are not hungry. So anyway, that's enough of hip hop talk. Okay, says Scott Caesar says, what is your thoughts on the latest MCU controversy? The MCU just likes making it hard on themselves, and you can't placate real Northern fans with overpriced giant size semi reprint. Do better. I think the MCU is. I'm not going to say the MCU is in trouble, but it's just not the darling that it used to be. And they got to put out some better quality of product for them to get the people back in the seats like they want at the theaters. Listen. I don't think the Deadpool movie, and I think it's going to be a good movie. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. And to me, the Deadpool franchise of all the IPs at the MCU is concerned is one of the better ones because they allow Ryan Reynolds to, be that character, so to speak, and just have fun with it. But now I did not like necessarily the trailer where he calls himself Marvel Jesus is like, which is almost he's poking fun at the fact that he knows that Deadpool may actually he may just be that. He may be the one that saved the MCU, which is hilarious to me when I think about it, because that's how in the toilet Marvel is with the MCU. That a character that has not been around a quote unquote long time, but has been a successful character for them, that's been completely detached from what you've had in the MCU. There have been Deadpool movies, and they've been kind of like on their own. They're not connected with other stuff. It's just been its own thing, but it's been one of the most successful of the brands. But them trying to connect all the dots and then do certain agendas, and it's just been a hot mess. So yeah, Deadpool trailer drops tomorrow. It's banging. They're gonna make $1 billion. I don't know. I don't think. I think the $1 billion movie is over, bro. I just think that's over because I don't think people are. Here's the thing. I don't think people are going to want to go see this movie twice. It'll be good to go get that, that first weekend or whatever. They better have a successful weekend, and I'm sure that they will. But I don't see nobody going back to the theater to see that twice. They'll wait for it to get to stream. I just don't think the hype is there no more for the MCU. There was a time that we trusted everything that Kevin Feige kind of put out there. But that trust is over. It says, what do you think about the X-Fans talking down about the coming X-Men titles before they come out? Well, again, I'm not sure. Eve Ewing is writing one title. Jeffrey Thorne is writing X-Force. And so the proof is in the pudding. I'll say it like that. The X-Men fans, here's the thing about X-Men fans. There are casual X-Men fans, and then there are hardcore X-Men fans. So the casual X-Men fans, they're going to see what the hardcore says, meaning that the guys that love X-Men, they're going to buy the books. They may talk a gang of trash, but they're going to go buy them books because if you're an X-Men fan, you're going to want X titles in your comic book, in your LCS. In your collection, you're going to go buy those books. You're going to just do that. You could trash it all day long. You could tell me I ain't buying it. Whatever. If you're a real X-Men fan, you're going to check for it at least. So what they're going to do is they're going to check for it. They're going to see what the hardcore say. If the hardcore say, yeah, this is all right, then they'll go get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect it to fail. I'll say it like that. I do think that you're not necessarily getting what you want, But I'm of the opinion of giving people what they want, just not how they want it. And I think this is what Marvel is doing. They're going to give people what they want, but they're just not giving it to them in the package they want. So y'all stay tuned. Go get the books. We already know that Jeffrey Thorne's X-Force book is going to be amazing, so we're going to go get that. So please, please, please go get that. For real. It's going to be dope. Kofi says, how do you feel about them not having a black X-Men in one of the titles? I don't really feel no kind of way about it because really that's been the story of X-Men historically. Can, you know, Storm and Bishop, they've been the two. And over the course of, now there are lots of black X-Men. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody really, like I say, hardcore X-Men fans, they're going to buy the books. My brother gifted me an X-Men collection. My brother was a hardcore X-Men fan. My brother brought every X-Men book, classic X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Excalibur. He bought all the books, okay? And then one day he just got out the hobby and said, Rich, you can have them. And I took them. And so the fandom for me was never about Storm or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't pick up an X-Men book and say, man, I can't wait to see what Storm is going to do in the book. No, you either love the X-Men or you don't. So I get the sentiment, people saying that they want to see black people in the books or whatever. I get it. But that's historically, that's not been the case. Now, could they do more with like Darwin and Sync and Gateway and others? Absolutely. But the history of X-Men has not been, it has not been a lot of melanin in those books. Now, Jeff says, stick around, play. You don't know what X-Force is bringing. That's what's up. Yeah, that's Jeffrey Thorne. That's the writer of X-Force. He's telling you, stick around. That's what we're going to do. We're going to check for it. We're going to talk about it. So, yeah. So, now, let's see what else we got. Azelle Ray says, the same agendas that killed Star Wars franchises killing the MCU and the comic books. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, they're owned by the same company, Disney. So, you know, that's a corporate decision. A corporate decision. It says has not recouped from their purchase of Star Wars. Disney, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, look, they're doing a Mandalorian movie. I'm going to the theaters to see that. Acolyte's getting ready to come out. I'm going to watch that. At this, you know, if it's good, I'm gonna watch it. If it's not, I'm probably gonna watch it, but not. I'm probably gonna roast it, but I'm probably still gonna watch it. So everything can't be good, but you know, I'm here for it. If they put it out and I like it, it's just kind of like the X-Men '97. X-Men '97, people were poo-pooing that before one episode dropped. X-Men '97 has not disappointed. It has not disappointed so far. So anybody says that X-Men '97 is trash, they have not watched that cartoon. They lying. They got an agenda themselves. That book or that cartoon has been amazing. Have all the episodes been great? No. You know, the one that came out last week, I felt like that was a filler episode. But by and large, that animation has been good. Says glad Stewart got a uniform that says he's not Robin to Hal's Batman finally. Hey, shout out to the Green Lantern fans out there. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy about it. You know, as well. John Stewart has been the Green Lantern of this generation. Has not been Hal Jordan. And at some point, the people at DC will wake up to that reality. But you know, it is what it is. Jeff says, I won't do Mosaic without Kari and Emilio. Well, there it is. There it is. Hershey says, preach, Rich. We cry so much about blacks on X-Men, but only check the Storm. Yeah, that's true. So what else is up, y'all? Is Storm the first black mutant introduced in X-Men? Ooh. I will not answer that because I do not know. Part of me wants to say yes, but I mean, the original X-Men squad we know from back in the day was all white. That ain't no secret. But have any other mutants come up since Storm has been around, or prior to Storm? I cannot say. Gordon Mahan says, agree, let us have a regular Blue Marvel solo comic series. Yep. Jeff says yes. Jeff says Storm was the first. Yeah. John Stewart should have had a film before Hal. Justice League animated series was hot around then, so it made more sense. Yeah. Azel says, I think the DECU should just stick to animated films. You know what, though? Here's the thing about the DECU. They are... I haven't heard a lot of people talk a lot about the Crisis of Infinite Earths. It's been kind of quiet. I know part 2 is getting ready to come out, but it's been kind of quiet on the animated side as far as DC. Because before they put this out, I'm trying to think, what did they put out? I know that there was a Batman, The Doom at the Door, that sat at the door. I think that was the name of it, which is like an Elseworld story that they did for animation. And that was a kind of a snooze. I wish they would reprise the Batman the animated series. That would be dope. But I don't know if they could. You know, they may have a issue trying to find someone to do Batman since the guy that voiced Batman passed away. So Robert Monroe Jr. said, yes, Storm was the first, and that's why she was a big deal for me. So, yeah. I mean, you know, and I don't want to poo-poo anybody that loves Storm or whatever. You know, they just have not made these other characters, other black mutants, a priority. Whether we're talking about Gentle or we're talking about Saint Darwin, they've been featured in a lot of dope books. We know that, right? But the question is, you know, can anybody other than maybe Bishop come to the forefront? Now, there was a Bishop book that came out recently, Bishop War College. That book was not that good. It was okay, but it was just not that good. It did not really catch on. It didn't resonate, even though he's one of the few black mutants that some people say that they care about. It's clear to me that they didn't go get that book. And no one really talked about it, either gave it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because again, it was just kind of, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. And we got to realize that some of these books that they put out, there's nothing like putting out a meh book. And I feel like Bishop War College was just that meh. It wasn't good. It was not, you know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to spend money for a comic book, you want that book to be worth every penny. And I just don't think it really was. And that's just me being honest about that book. Could have definitely been better. Was it okay? It was okay. But no one's going to mistake that being the best Bishop title or Bishop self-titled book. No one's going to say that. Not about that. No. They need to retcon that retcon about Bishop being Australian Aborigine. Now, 1-in-100 podcast is now, I think I need the James Gunn DCU before the DCU push the animation only. Well, here's the thing about James Gunn. I think that until we start seeing James Gunn vision on screen, everybody's kind of waiting with bated breath. I'm hoping that he does something good. I don't know if he can catch lightning in a bottle. We know the stuff that he did with Marvel was fantastic. The Guardians of the Galaxy, that stuff is, you know, amazing. But we'll see. Styles on Series said, did you see the article where the showrunner for Justice League animated series said Jon Stewart was an affirmative action decision? Some people just can't let greatness marinate. You know, it very well may have been that decision. And I guess my response to that is, so what? So what if he was? I mean, you know, yeah, I get the whole idea that, you know, maybe, you know, but the Jon Stewart in the animated series, the Justice League animated series, the Justice League animated series was amazing. That was incredible. That was dope. Kids around the world that watched that, they didn't watch Hal Jordan. They watched that dude, Jon Stewart. That's who they recognize as Jon Stewart. And, you know, you could say whatever that he shouldn't have been there. Because, listen, I like, you know, I don't hate Hal. I don't dislike Hal. But I understand why people really like Jon Stewart. He was a very likable character. It's nothing against Hal Jordan. But, you know, Hal had his time. Hal had the original Super Friends. He was in that cartoon or whatever. He's done some animated series stuff with the Justice League. But he's had his time. So why people won't let great be great? I don't know. That's kind of that's a simplistic way to describe Justice League and Justice League character makeup. Yeah, it is. Ida Watts said Bishop was the original design was to be a Filipino character. Any interest in the Suicide Squad animated film? It looks like it has potential. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. That's for sure. I just need Amanda Waller to be in it. I just need her to do what she do, and cut somebody's head off with them little collars around their neck. Somebody get gully, somebody try to run, and she pushed the button. Boom, you're out of here. I'd watch it. Do people even know what affirmative action actually means? As it seems like the show run for JL does not know. He probably doesn't. These are people use these words like woke or whatever, and really don't know the meaning of it, or they appropriate these words to mean something. And that's the thing, you know, that's the one thing about our culture is that our culture tends to influence other people. And what happens is, like with the word woke or whatever, you know what I'm saying? People started picking up that word. And here's the thing about us. If I can just, Derek, I need you to run my disclaimer. Please run my disclaimer. Because I'm about to say something. Okay. Now, there are certain words and language and lingo that we use. And oftentimes we put stuff down and we moved on to something else. And white people would come alongside and pick up what we've put down. And that's what happened with the word woke. We was done with that word. I cared about that word. Erykah Badu mentioned it in a song or two, or whatever. It kind of went around the globe or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Stay woke, that kind of thing. All of a sudden, some white YouTuber or some white guy on Twitter started saying it. Now it means something completely different. And that's the history of white people in this country when it comes to things that we produce. We put something down, they pick it up, and then they try to take ownership of it. That's facts. I will not apologize for what they do. And telling the truth about what they do. Because that's exactly what they did with that word and everything that surrounds that word. They start saying woke, and then, you know, woke started being a word that they used to associate anything that was not white, anything that was not gender specific. They just got weird with it. And so for me, it's one of those things where affirmative action, words like woke are like dog signals. And that's what they pick up on. And so if you talk to most people, you know, and really have a conversation with people, and when they try to use that stuff, you can really back them down. You can really back them down and back them away from their initial thoughts. But they don't have this conversation. They're not interested in having this conversation. That's why, you know what I'm saying, a lot of YouTubers on, you know, in the YouTube space, That's how they make their money. They make their money trashing everything that doesn't look like them, that doesn't put them at the center of everything. But they'll say, I'm a racist. They'll say that I'm this, because I call them out on their crap. It is what it is. So, again, that's what they do, though. That's been the history of America. That's the history of the civilized world. So, what else can you say about it? He says, I'm surprised the Woke Event Warriors haven't gone off about issue 5. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't, these guys, they need something. Maybe they got some other content. Maybe it hasn't hit their radar yet, Amir. Maybe they're not even thinking about it, and because there's so much stuff out there that they're trying to shoot down, and so much stuff that they're trying to thumb their nose at. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It's just all weird to me. It's just weird. I think Black people need. That there's a phrase that people use called the white gaze. We need. What does the Black gaze look like? Because I think we need to just really just start gazing, just offer the Black gaze. Somebody tell me, what is the Black gaze in response to white supremacy and everything around it? Because we need something to just kind of like respond to it or whatever. But anyway, Wraith X7 says Marvel should bring back and the use of cool Black mutant characters like John Wraith, Jesse Bedlam, Shane Shooter, Darwin, and Winship. They could do that, and again, these are not our IPs. We don't own these IPs. And what they want to do is what they want to do. I just, here's the thing, guys, we could have 100 ideas and we can't barely get them to choose one. That's the sad part. The whole idea of supporting Black independent creators and all that was birthed out of our frustration with what Marvel and DC were offering to us. They could do a lot of amazing things. That's why for a comic head such as myself, I try not to get too disgruntled with what's being offered. I try to enjoy what the books I like to read, and I try to keep it pushing. I try not to think too much into stuff because I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the I wish guy. I don't want to be that guy. I wish they would do this. I wish they could do that. They could do. We all know that. But I'm kind of black pill with it because I'm like, they're not going to do that because it does not serve their interest. It does not serve their interest. And it's weird to me because I don't necessarily hate them for it. I understand why they do what they do. It is what it is. Ultimate Black Panther has gotten 5 reprints so far. Yes. Or 4. Yeah. Yep. Wraith X says, notice all the Black male characters that I listed were either killed, depowered, turned evil, or tossed into limbo. Yeah. That's comics. that's really Black American entertainment. Let's see. I have the Watcher. Izil Ray, thanks for the information on the Panthers. As I did not know the Panthers used the term woke. Yeah. I mean, again, I when I made the Erykah Badu reference to it, is a word that she used, in her songs, I want to say, or in just conversations. But there's nothing new under the sun, guys. That's the thing. It's nothing new under the sun. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I know that that's what happens a lot of times. We will use certain words and certain phrases and certain things, and we'll put it down and we're on to something else. And they pick it up, and then they just try to, appropriate it or whatever. And that's the thing about Blackness or whatever that I think is so cool, is that it's always evolving. Some may say that it's devolving these days, but for the most part, that's what it does. Dathver says, just started watching Fallout Episode 6, enjoying it. Reminds me of Logan's Run, dropped in an Akira world. Good hero journey type stuff. Man, there's a lot of stuff, man, that's out. What up behind the scene? What's going on, Ron? So, Rich, what event side are you rolling with? Absolute Power versus Blood Hunt? Look, I'm not buying all them Blood Hunt books. I'll buy a few, but I ain't buying everything. That's a big run. Even with I'm like Issa Rae. I vote for everything black. So I'm buying the Blade books as far as the Blood Hunt book. I'm buying the book that has Blade's daughter and Brielle Brooks, the Dracula book. I'm gonna buy the Midnight Suns book. I'm gonna buy the Strange Academy book because Dr. Voodoo is gonna be in that book. So I'm buying all the black books. You can call me a racist. I don't care. we gonna keep it black over here. So same with the Absolute Power books. The Amanda Waller books, I'm going to buy. You know what I'm saying? If there are any black characters that are going to be in these other books for his Absolute Power, I'll check them out. But anything that Amanda Waller's in, I'm going to buy. So, yeah. Yeah, we keeping it black over here. So, we are black nationalist comic book collectors. Robert Marmo asked Dosverse and says, are there any black people in Fallout? I'm tired of futuristic stories where we don't exist. Yeah. I mean, look, guys, I mean, it's the future's black. Don't get it twisted. The future's black. You know what I'm saying? It's just finding stories and finding comic books and finding books that reflect that. You know what I'm saying? Always looking for a face like mine. Always. So we need to give a shout out to the recognition of Astria from 1977 Space Sentinels cartoon for being the first female black superhero on TV. Salute. Guys, if you're here, please make sure you like the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a hater, tell somebody that we in this thing for real. Says there are almost 3,000 black comic lords. That's on YouTube. Let's say it like that. If all of us bought black independent comics, get them on our pull list, and told other black comic book fans about them, it will make a great statement. Appreciate you, Robin Monroe. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do that here. We're trying to do that here. Doesn't always work, but we keep pushing. We keep pushing. That's what it's about. So, yeah. K asks a question. He says, heel riding Blade again is my main concern. Will get any Voodoo appearance as well. Yeah, Dr. Voodoo is going to be in the Blood Hunt book for sure. Matter of fact, I do believe that I think Dr. Voodoo is going to make appearance in the Blade book pretty soon. I'm not sure, but I think he is. So, Zell says there's so many stories you can tell with Blue Marvel and Monica Rambeau. Absolutely. There's gangs of stories that they could tell. But the question is, are they going to do it? That's probably not going to win. Which is why, in my opinion, the independent black creators that are in our space and that we come in contact with, because we know that they won't do those stories, those guys should do those stories. Now, will we know those characters? That's a different thing. But we have to make the investment into IPs outside the big two. It's just that simple. We're going to always look out for whatever Marvel and DC is doing with black characters. We shouldn't just abandon those characters, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when someone is trying to introduce a new universe, a new world, new characters to us in a different IP, we should make a point to try to check it out. We should make it a point to make the initial investment to see what it's about or whatever. Because again, if you're not getting what you want from Marvel and DC, you should get it from somewhere else if someone's trying to offer it. If Acolyte, who's not Blue Marvel, but he can be just as respected, he can be just as noted, or have noteworthy following, we should do that. We should go and get Acolyte when we find it. We should get Ultra when we find it. We should get Titan when we find it. We should try to grab these characters, that they're available to us. Because Marvel and DC are going to continue to do what they do. Marvel's going to Marvel, DC's going to DC. Scott sees the Marvel's continuing disrespect. Night Thrasher, can homie kill a few vampires, please? Nope. That might require some distinguishing traits compared to Rhodes and Blade. Oh, well. Come on, Scott. I'm going to need you to have a better attitude, my brother. But I get what you're saying. I really do. I get what you're saying. Marvel, Jeff says, Blue Marvel gets pitched. Marvel says they have plans for him. Oh, well, hopefully they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. I wish they would let Kevin Greavy write the story. When we interviewed him, he told us some dope stuff, you know what I'm saying, that he wanted to do. We got another super chat. Tron World, what up? 100. That's what up. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate it, for real. Yep. Problem I put independent black books on my pull list and noticed that my LCO, LCS ordered more than just one for me. We have to give the LCSs, we have to give them the nod that, hey, if I see something that's available, and it's a black independent and they got a book come, we have to put it on our pull list. You can't go to the shop and expect them to put these books on the shelf because they want their books to sell. We kind of go back and forth with this thing with Eve Ewing, when she explains, how comics work. It is what it is. You have to pre-order your books. If we know that there's going to be an Advent Comics run or, a title, Concrete, Godhood, or whatever, massive, you should put that on your pull list so that record of sale can go toward the creator. I don't like the process, but that is the process. Knockoff City. Be funny. What up, Dion? Are the Blue Marvel plans handled well, and is that just coding language we don't want to use it? My two questions, sadly, later is more than likely. Probably so. Ryan Monroe says Marvel doesn't want Kevin anywhere near Blue Marvel for some reason. So I believe someone in the X community has to call Dr. Voodoo about Havoc being a full zombie. Hell, boy, you X-Men fans, I tell you. Good old Brooklyn. I just realized we didn't get Philadelphia this month. Yeah, we'll be back. Issue 35 is getting ready to come out. The Brown Panther, Guardian of the Black Mecha, called Atlanta. Oh boy. I have not seen any of these pens, I realized, in 4 years. It is what it is, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Blue Marvel fan. I stopped asking. I stopped thinking about it. I don't really when I talk to you guys bring up Blue Marvel. I try not to bring up Blue Marvel. And it's not because I don't like the character. I love the character. I just know that it's a character that they have allowed to languish in non-factor books for years. He's been in the Thanos book very sparingly. He's in the book, but he's in there very sparingly. And it's not enough for some characters just being in a comic book. Some characters, we want those characters out front. And I don't know if Marvel cares, or they will ever care to do that. I mean, they literally got a black Superman on a roster, and they choose not to use him. Makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. Other cool, lesser-known black characters from Marvel aren't being used. Maxim, yes. Solar Hub, Blurson, Centennial, Warp, Friction. Yeah. It's a whole, listen, in June, the month of June, we have word that Marvel is going to finally release that My Superhero is Black book is coming out. Everybody and their mama is about to find out how many black characters are on Marvel's roster. And that happens in June. That book comes out in June. So there's a lot of characters at Marvel. But I think DC even has more than Marvel. There's a lot of characters at DC that's sitting on the shelf for whatever reason. Yep. Blue Marvel gone missing like Milestone. We gotta stop putting their pics on milk cards. Well, technically, Dion, he's not missing. He's around. He's just not out front. He's in the Thanos book. But again, I don't know how long that book is going to, be around. Azelle said, who remembers Moses Magnum? Another character that got tossed in obscurity for no reason. Yeah, well, Moses Magnum was one of the best villains that they had in Marvel. It's on the shelf. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's a lot of characters, y'all. It's a lot of characters. That's kind of the issue. Robert Peterson with the Super Chat. Blue Marvel, Black Panther, Blade. The Black Marvel Trinity. Salute.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Now, Kofi says it's coming out in 2025, but we've got word that it's coming out this year. Now, somebody holler at Paul because we talked about this just recently. That book is supposed to come out in June, not next year, this year. So that book is really a year late. I don't know if they got another year to waste everybody's time waiting for it. It says, wait, behind the scenes, says, wait a second, Miles is not a part of the Black Marvel Trinity. Look, Marvel has, Miles Morales has over 300 comic books. He's got more black books he's got more books than anybody at Marvel, including Black Panther. Has been around since 1966. I don't know how that's possible, but he does. Either way, you know what I'm saying? I guess on a historical level, he could be. Miles has been around 10 years, and it's been a great 10 years, but he just kind of got here, to be honest, behind the scenes. So that's the only reason. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. Let me say that. He shouldn't be. Is he on the Mount Rushmore? I think the jury's still out with it for as that goes, but or it's not. Maybe I shouldn't use the word Mount Rushmore. Maybe I need an African equivalent to the Mount Rushmore. So yeah, top 5, maybe that's the one I should go. Yeah. So Scott says, Mr. Riffin had a great team series. Yes, he did. DC Comics. And has been designated as a recurring character. DC going to DC. They should just change the Justice League name to Batman and Friends. Pathetic. Well, there's no Justice League book right now. It's Titans. I don't know when the Justice League is coming back, and I think this Dawn of DC campaign that they've been on is supposed to be like a year. So we may not see the Justice League till 2025. But Mr. Terrific did have a team book called The Terrifics. That book is in dollar bins. You can find most of those books in dollar bins. Not all of them, but most of them you can find in dollar bins. And that run went, I think, over a little over a year and a half, 18, 19, 20 issues maybe. But yeah. Brooklyn says, Lawrence Fishburne said the best meaning for woke, which Black people know, is wake up. Yeah, shout out to his role was in, what was that movie? School Days. Yeah. There's definitely some hits in this chat at Jeffrey Thorne. Mr. Terrific, Ben and Flash, not sure about other appearances. It is too. I mean, Mr. Terrific is a dope character. He's a legacy character, but he's a dope character. I mean, I think there's something that I don't know how we really feel about legacy characters. Some will say that, well, nobody really knows about the first Mr. Terrific, so he's really not a legacy character based on that, but he's not the first. Technically, he's not, you know what I'm saying? And what are we doing here? Do we like legacy characters or we don't? Because that's the problem. You talk about a troll situation, that's a real problem. Louisiana Kid. Okay, let me get to Mr. DC's. He says, it's not the character's problem. It's not the characters that are the problem. It's the people running Marvel and DC. That's why a lot of characters are not being used properly. Facts. So Louisiana Kid said, who's on your Mount Kilimanjaro? Okay, yeah, I can go with that. Now I have to can I do a Marvel Kilimanjaro, or do it have to be all inclusive? Because I can do a Marvel one, I can do a DC one, I can do an independent one. A Marvel one would be Black Panther, Blade, Storm, I got to put Miles on it. I just, that hurts to say that. Before I'm talking about Marvel. I would have to put those four. Then you struggling. I am struggling. Ain't no doubt about it. Now, my DC would be Black Lightning, John Stewart, Vixen, Mr. Terrific. So those four. Those four as far as Marvel. Independent. Spawn. 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 And Spawn. I know y'all gonna say, what is he talking about? I do think, but Spawn be the only one on the independent side. Now he says Cyborg, Luke Cage. Let me say why I didn't put Luke Cage on there. The only reason why I didn't put Luke Cage is one, I didn't think about Luke Cage. That's one. But it's obvious to me that he doesn't have the influence or the reach that these other characters have. Could he be like the fifth one on there? Absolutely. Absolutely. H&S says Cyborg. My issue with Cyborg is they don't know, and he's been in a lot of books, but they don't know if he belongs on the Justice League or if he belongs on Titans. Now, me personally, I like him with the Justice League. He's not a teenager. His beginnings, of course, he was a teenager. He's not fresh out of high school. He's not that dude no more. And but every time we see a cyborg run, they always go back to him as being a football player and then what happened with his dad and all that stuff. That dude is old. Not old, but he's a young man now. He's not a teenager. So I wrestle with that. So yeah. This is Cyborg is a titan to me, thanks to the cartoon. Independent Brother Man. Now I did not think about Brother Man. Brother Man would definitely be one. If I had to use modern characters, then I could say, I like the antagonist. Put on a Mount Rushmore a Mount Kilimanjaro. It's still early in the game. Louisiana Kid said dreadlocks. I think those characters are known, and I guess that's the reason why I could quote unquote put them on there. But I mean, it's just like, historically or whatever. Now, here's the funny thing about it. Notice I did not put one on the Mount Kilimanjaro. I did not put one milestone character. Now, I don't know whether to be mad at myself or just to be disgusted with the fact that I didn't even bring up anybody from. I didn't bring up Static. I didn't bring up Icon. I didn't bring up the Blood Syndicate. I didn't bring up Hardware. Mr. DC Comics, he puts up Static. Here's the thing about that. I used to call Miles Morales Static Jr. I don't call him that no more. I have grown in maturity. I'm not going to be petty, but I used to think that Miles Morales was nothing but Static Jr., a carbon copy of Static. And I feel like DC missed the window. DC had a huge window in terms of milestone to do something big with Static, and they let that window close. And I just, Darvin said, "You feel how you feel, Rich." I mean, man. You know what? I'm not going to talk about Milestone tonight. I don't have the stomach to talk about Milestone tonight. I'm just really disgusted with them. I don't know what's going on over there. I love the creators, but I just do not know what's going on with the corporate business at Milestone. They have been a non-factor, and it is. He said, "My life just figured hearing all the Miles." I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a better human being. I mean, I'm trying to think positive. I'm trying to make lemonade out of lemons because they got my man just kind of out there with nowhere to go. It's just the Milestone situation is that's so heartbreaking to me. That is so heartbreaking to me. Miles Morales should have been made the new Prowler. That I can't argue that. I really can't. I can't argue that only from the standpoint of Miles not being or Miles being a legacy character. That makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, it's kind of like I've accepted Miles Morales for who he is, and not what he could be. You know what I'm saying? I like how they're doing the story in the animated show. The animated movie with the Prowler in that version of the Earth, where Miles is the Prowler. I can't wait for the next part to come out, man. I can't wait for that. But I really can't argue against that. He could be the Prowler, but he's been Miles Morales. He's his own brand now. So they made that commitment. Creatively, that's on Milestone. I expect DC to do what it does as far as underusing Black and brown characters. Mr. DC Comics is the people in charge. You got a lot of Marvel people running DC. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm gonna just say that, you know, if they come back, they gotta let us know when, because we don't know when they're coming back. There are no solicits for the summer. No solicits. That's a little, and comics take literally 3 months to kind of like do a solicit. So we won't see them this summer. The earliest that we will see Milestone return, whatever, perhaps if they return, is in the fall. And we're going to be too busy reading Blood Hunt books and Absolute Power books to even care. So it is what it is. DC is stupid for not combining the Milestone universe with the Image universe. Huh? 1 in 100 podcasts say, I hope Milestone is fighting for their independence. Yeah, me too. I don't really have a lot of, I'm not the eternal optimist. Not like that when it comes to these books. But we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Well, look, guys. Let's see. Other cool underused black characters in Marvel: Cardiac, Dragonfly, Rider, Triathlon. We do know that Triathlon is like the new 3D man. So, yeah. Shout out to man Herschel over there. Cecilia Reyes at DC. They have Skyrocket, yes. Joshua Powell, Quantum Kid, and Orpheus. Orpheus is still dead. They need to resurrect Orpheus. A lot of stuff out there, y'all. DC does their best to have their black characters languish in obscurity. I need an Outsiders book with Black Lightning, Signal, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and Vixen, with the obligatory black Batman appearances. Which is funny too, because in the Red Hood book, The Hill, Batman is going to be in the next issue. So he's good to pop up every now and then as far as Batman goes. You know, Dr. Miss, wouldn't mind seeing him. But, you know, it is what it is. Well, look, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Now, Jeff says I had an Orpheus pitch. DC said they don't own the character. What? Okay. That's messed up. I know he hadn't been back. That's all I know. So anybody knows the owner of Orpheus, we need to holler at them. Tell them to holler at your boy. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I want to go ahead and give the benediction. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me on the night. The benediction comes from Proverbs, the 10th chapter, verse number 12. It says, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. It's good to be back. Until next time, we say peace. We'll see you when we see you. Take care and good night.